Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome to this uh, America special election edition. No, we're not doing anything special here. I do have my I voted little tag here, so you do know that I went out and I voted. If you haven't, and you're in America and you're in the U.S., please go out and vote. Just stop, log out, and run to the polling place. No. Anyway, everybody should go out and vote. Um, I'm kind of in the mood today to work on the interior of the car, and as I've said, it isn't going to be real detailed. I'm not going to get into the all the little creases and seams and everything in here, but I think I would like to at least block it out so that you can see there's something in there. So I think today I'm going to work on that. So for that, I'm just going to begin over in a whole new layer and maybe work on just one of these front seats and see how it goes. It looks to me like they're just cubes, right? And then I'll need to kind of adjust edges and stuff to get the basic shape of the seat. Someone here asks, is the Captain Quark series all over? Is it done? I'm not sure. I haven't felt the urge to get back to it, so my apologies for that. I just haven't. There's always been another thing to do, so I haven't quite got back to it. So we'll see. I mean, if we began it again, what would we do? I guess we'd do rigging and face rigging, I guess. I mean, that'd be kind of cool to do that using the Pitchy Poi rigging system. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. We'll have to see. So for this seat back here, let's maybe begin to just shape this up as best we can. I'm looking at this here. It just looks to me like this top is a little bit narrower. The way I usually like to work is just to try and block it out as much as I can with as little as possible. And then kind of go from there. So I'm just trying to maybe something like this, let's say. And let me scale it out just so let's just say that this is the basic shape of this the back of the seat. And if I seem kind of off today, they're doing lots of construction right outside my window, and you may be able to hear it. But the whole block has just been shaking every time they break up concrete. It's been not fun. So I'm going to add a subdivision surface modifier to this, and of course I get this. Here is the actual frame of the mesh, and what I'm going to do is just add a couple of edge loops and see if I can kind of get that basic shape here. Let me try it like this, SX, and let me try this. So now I've got that basic shape to the seat. Let me try this. How does that look? Now if I smooth it, how's it look? All right, not too bad. So what I can do now is I could actually just take this and apply it, and let's see what happens. Now this is what I have. So I've just added geometry to give it that basic shape. So let's go with that for now. Let's try that. All right, so let's take a look at the bottom of the seat here. This down here, it looks like Once again, we could go with a cube. Move that forward a bit. And let's see. It looks like this edge down here can kind of come in. It looks like the whole thing could maybe be scaled in the Z just a little bit more. We could scale it out some, like this. There we go. Now we could go through the same process. Now I wish I could see the bottom of this. I'm gonna have to wing it, I guess. I'll move this back all the way, like this, so we have kind of something that connects there. Then what I'll do once again is add that subdivision surface modifier. I can add a couple of edges to it, like this. And maybe even something like this. Now let's see how that works. So I'll smooth that. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and apply this. Let me apply this and see what happens. And then I'm going to take these edges here, maybe, and move them up just a smidge. Like this. Why not? I just want that curve. All right. Something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be a whole. There we go. So now we're getting something that I kind of like. Now, these things down here, we don't really need these, do we? I can get rid of these. Like this. Because I am pretty sure that we're never going to actually get close to look in the windows here. It looks to me like that seat is kind of angled up just a bit. So maybe RX and rotate it in the X just a bit. And this seat here looks like it's tilted back a bit. I could actually, well, I can just go ahead and rotate it around the X and then move it a hair like that. So just blocking it out generally. Probably need one of these things up here, huh? Let me grab this whole area. I don't think we need. Oh, I once again didn't turn on the screen cast. Sorry about that. Let me do that. Seems like I forget that every time. I'm going to change to local and move that down just a bit. All right, now let's work on this thing right here. What if, well, I think just a cube again, and then we block it out. Cursor to selected, create a cube. I'm going to go to the side view here, wake up my numpad. Oh, look, it's really not that far off of the right size. I thought this would be way off. All right. So let's see. I think what I want to do, how do I want to do this? I'm going to go ahead and turn off that side view for now because I think I don't want it to be in my way. So this is the right side here. Turn that off. There we go. I'm going to scale this in and kind of go something like this. Now what I want to do is kind of get that front part in line. This part right up here, get that the way I want it. Kind of like that. And then I'm going to extrude out from here. Like that. So from here, I'm just going to hit E and move this out. E and move this out like that. Something like that. it looks like it scales in just a hair. Something like that. There we go. So I'm just trying to get a basic. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can deal with that. Let's move this out some. Like that. Too much, huh? Like that. All right. Scale this in a bit. And maybe scale these in a bit as well. All right. Now I may do that same thing again. Let's add a subdivision surface modifier. It is ugly. Yes. 2 edges. Scale them out a bit. There we go. And then smooth this. Okay. Oops. Something like that. Yeah, I kind of want these to come out a little bit. It looks like they come out a bit like that. All right, now I'm going to apply that, and let's go with that. All right, so we've got that. Kind of want these to come up just a hair. Yeah. All right. So we've got that. We probably don't. Well, let's see. That's not bad. Let's see how it works in the car here. I'm going to go ahead and combine them all and then bring the car back. Go to wireframe and let's place this in here. See how it works. It's almost the right size. That's just weird that that happened. It wasn't anything I did. It was just random chance here. All right. It's hard to get a sense of how big that should be and how far back it should be too. I'm thinking like this. Let's find that I had an image from the side view, I think, that maybe would help me with this. Let me look at this. All right. So it looks like the seats are a little bit lower or not as tall on the back. Because I feel like we want the seats to be about like that, but it almost looks like I should bring this whole part down quite a bit. Oh. And then maybe even just select all of these and scale them down completely like that. Now this looks like it's from a little bit lower angle, so that might just work. Let me grab these windows here and let's hide those. I'm going to hover over the outliner, hit the period key, and there they are. I'm going to go ahead and hide those. I better name them so I can find them again. Side windows, so that I can bring them back. I'm just going to go like that, and then let's see how this looks. I feel like they're not wide enough, you know? There, something like that. Let's try that. Let me look at the top here. Yeah, okay, so they're about that far apart. Yeah, something like this. What do you think? Maybe? Let me put the origin in the center of the geometry there. Still feels like it's too tall. Well, although I think that's pretty good. Let me bring it down just a little bit more. And then I think we'll be good. I'm going to grab this, bring it down, see how that works. Yeah, I think that works pretty well there. All right. I think I'm going to go with that. Let me hide this real quick. I'm just going to select it and hit H. All right. Feel like it could be a little bit more padded on the front here. I'm going to try that. Just take these and pull them out a bit. Something like that. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to go with that for now. Once again, we're just going to keep going and then do the tweaking at the end. Try not to get too involved with getting all the details perfect right now. Let's see, X, I can just plug in negative here. Pop that over there. All right. And then once we get everything in place, then I'll go back and really work on the details a bit. I'm going to press Alt-H to bring everything back. Okay. Let's now work on another part of the interior. What do we want to work on now? Do I want to deal with that dashboard? Maybe the back seats. Let me work on the back seats here. Those, I'm kind of in the groove on the seats here. Okay, so this once again a cube. All right, so let's try this. Create a cube, and this time I'm going to move it back. I'll go ahead and move it up, scale it in the Y. Let's make it kind of wide enough here. Looks like if I scaled it out to about here, that would probably be about as wide as it is. Once again, I think this edge could come back a bit, like that. We could probably give this an edge here, and I'm just going to pull this forward some. Now, give this, there we go, kind of a curve there. Now, once again, I'm just going to add that subdivision surface and see how that works. And as I said, I will be removing some of these polygons that we aren't going to see. But I just want to get it so we kind of have this curvature of the seat here. Like that. Let's smooth it. Yeah, okay. And let's add the bottom seat here. Another cube. Let's move this back as well. Now, this is probably going to be, it's going to need to be fairly thick, I think. Let's move that out. All right, so now here, let's grab that, move that back some. All right. We're going to need probably an edge to give that bulge in the seat there, kind of like that. All right. And then let me just, let me smooth it real quick. Yeah, that's a little, not quite enough. All right, so now, let's do it again. Scale these out. That's not bad, actually. I'm going to go like this. Try that. Feel like we need to move it up and scale it out a bit. Something like that. Okay. Now I should probably tilt these back just a hair around the x-axis. No, that didn't work. Let me try that again. I'll rotate this one and move it back a bit. All right, so we've got the basics of those. Let's see how it looks once again in the car. I think I better move these up. They're a little off. There we go. Okay, now let's bring back that car, and I'm going to select these windows and hit the H key and hide them. Okay, oh, let me get this too. All right, I think these need to move back here, like that. At least I think. It's hard to tell. Let me see if I can find a back view that gives us a sense of where that seat is. I don't think I have one. Kind of hard to tell. Well, I'll put it right here for now. And maybe I'll move this back like that. Okay. So we've got the basic layout there of the seats. I'm going to need to also do the interior of the doors as well, and the roof probably, and these support braces here. But let's keep moving on the interior. Let me go back here and find an interior one. Okay. Now, should we try and make that steering wheel? I think we should. Why not? Why don't we try a Taurus? I don't use Tauruses very much, but let's try it. I'm going to select all of these, hit M and 1, and move those to the first layer. And now here, I'm going to go ahead and create a Taurus right here. And I'm going to try and use this panel to try and get it the right size here. I could also use a circle and then like a path, but let me try this. Segments, minor segments, radius, minor radius. Whoa. Okay. Major radius. Okay, that's that. Oh. Oh, I hit undo and it undid the whole thing. Here we go. Okay. All right. That's not bad. Let's see how it looks if it's smoothed. Well, it's still a little blocky. Well, let me see. I'm going to try again. It should come up with the same settings again. Here's the Taurus. Let me try and just move this up, back up to, well, what was it at, 32? Let me try that. And yeah, let's try that. Let's try this with it smoothed and put it in place. Okay, yeah, that looks a little bit better. Let's try this. Is that too skinny though? I feel like it should be a little bit thicker than that. All right, let me try and get it a little bit thicker. That's going to be the minor radius. Yeah, so somewhere between 0.4 and 0.7, or 0.07. How about 0.06? Maybe. Let's try 0.05. I'm getting picky here now. Let's try that. All right. Smooth it. Let's put it into place. I'll bring back the car. Let's rotate it around the X. Let's bring it up here. Scale it. Tilt it. And what do you think? Yeah, okay. Can we see this from an exterior angle? Can we see it out? Let's look at this one. Can we see it? Just barely. So let's try this, like that. Okay. Still looks a little thin, but let's try it. There we go. Okay. Now let's also think about this part on the steering wheel. I think we probably need that. And I think this right here, well, as I said, I don't want to get too detailed, but I think we do need that, right? Let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, I think what I will do is add a cylinder to the center of that, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try a 12-sided cylinder, and then we can extrude out of that. Or a circle. No. I don't know. This cylinder could be its own thing, and I could just use a plane for this. Let me try this. All right, so I'm going to create a cylinder here. Let's make it 12-sided, like that. I want to move the cursor to the selected, move the selected to the cursor. There we go. Our X, let me rotate it. Well, let me scale it down first. And let me rotate it. RX90. Nope. RX90. All right. Switch to local mode. You can press Alt-Shift to bring up that menu. No, not Shift, space. Alt, space to bring up that menu. Okay. Now, I'm wondering, how do I want to do this? So what I think I'm going to do here is add an edge loop or two and then extrude those out and then cut those holes into them. I don't know if that makes any sense, but let me try this. All right, so I'm going to try this like this. This may be folly, but I'm willing to accept the consequences. All right, so now I've got these selected. I'm going to go over here to the tools, mesh tools, and for the extrude, I'm going to choose individual. No. Let's try vertex normal to region. Let's see if that does what I want it to do. Yes, okay. So that does that. Kind of ugly, I know. But then what we want to do is change to individual origins and scale these in like so. I don't need those faces anymore, so I'll just delete them. Now, I've got it spun so it's upside down. It should be the other way. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let me spin that around here. Let me spin it. And I'm holding the control key down to spin it to an increment of 5, and I spun it around to 180. So there we go. Let me rotate this just a bit. Like that. There we go. Now, what I need is these little cutouts. I really want those cutouts. I don't know why. I probably don't need them. That's just going to add extra to it. But they're cool. I want them. All right, let me see. I'm going to add 3 on each, just so I know that they're all the same size. I don't need 3, but I can remove one. I just want to know that they're all the same size here. And then I can remove this one if I want with X and dissolve edges. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do. X, dissolve edges. There we go. And so all I did was I just used 3 edges so I was sure that they would all be the same size. This, I could have used 2, but I wanted it bigger. Now, what I can do is, well, there's a couple things I could do. I could use these and scale and extrude and scale in. Now, let me try this. This kind of looks like it would be fun to do. I'm going to try it. I'm going to, well, is it going to work? Let me try it. All right. Then if I deleted them all, no, not edges, faces. And then what if I just went like this? Control, no. Control E, bridge edge loops. There, and that closes it off. Yeah, kind of. I'm not loving it. I don't know. Let me try something else here. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, I guess what I could do... But that's so much just for these little things. Yeah, I don't want to do that either. Alright, why don't I leave them like that? It's just going to take too many edges to give me that little bit there. Alright. Okay, I admit defeat. Fine. I'll admit it. For this, though, I'm going to go ahead and extrude this in. And then push that. Oop. Let me change this back to median point. Push that in just a bit. I'm then going to go ahead and delete that face because it's a big old N-gon. And I think I will then extrude in and then merge these at the center. There we go. So I've got that. I know, I shouldn't have admitted defeat so easily, but I'm gonna. Let's go back to the rest of the car and see where we are here. Alright, I think before I extrude the that cylinder back, I need to kind of block in that dashboard. And this is a lot of polys. I don't want to deal with all of this, but I guess I'm going to have to. If you're going to see in, you're going to see in, you could see into any of this, so hadn't really planned on that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and maybe block in the floor? Well, okay, let's work on the dashboard here. Let me bring this back. Is that help me at all? No. This one is the best one, I think. Let's do this. All right. So how are you guys doing? I've been kind of focusing on this thing. What's going on out here? Whoa, we're talking about war and politics? Holy smokes, I turn away for a few minutes and we're talking about police actions and Congress and president and holy smokes. Well, I guess it was to be expected. So, let's see. Is there any questions about Blender or any comments here? Let's see. Let me go down here. And it's yeah, see, anybody talks about voting right on today, and boy, oh. All right. I'm gonna let me think about the dashboard here. I think this is just a big cube with an extrusion down here and an extrusion in, and that's probably all I'm going to do. I could do a texture for all the dials and knobs and wood grain and everything in there. Why don't I try that? Do I ever work with pre-made models in iClone? Oh, did you add a comment earlier about iClone? I don't honestly know exactly what that is. I've heard of it, but I'll have to do a little bit of looking into that. I'm not sure. Let's see. What else here? You'd like to see model out the entire dashboard. You know, I'd love to, but it's just, I don't think it's going to be seen in this particular model. A Blender animation about voting. Someone says, make a Blender animation about voting. I don't know what that would be. Would it be just a giant explosion? Is that what that would be? Oh, I hope not. All right, let me see if I can at least block in the dashboard here before we go. I'm going to go ahead and create a cube, and let's start blocking this out. I don't think I'm going to use a mirror modifier because it's not symmetrical, really. It's kind of its own thing here. Let me go to the top view. Y and scale that in a bit. Scale it out. See if we can get it to fit in here. There we go. Let's try that. So if you guys are going to complain or anything about politics, I will say that you have to go vote before you can complain. That's my theory on it. That if you aren't going to vote, you shouldn't complain. But I hope everybody does go out and vote, because it is hugely important. I used to work at a polling place, or I volunteered at a polling place in Los Angeles when I lived there. And one of the women who I was working with, who was also volunteering, she called herself Mama Toto, because her two sons were a band called Toto. I don't know if anybody remembers Toto. And if you do, you're at least as old as I am. But she was really, really nice. And everybody there was so nice. And everybody was really concerned about voting and democracy. And they didn't care how you voted. What they cared about was that you voted. And I thought that was great. And I kind of adopted that attitude. And her husband was a drummer, and we'd go see him and his band at a jazz club in LA as well. So if you don't know what the band Toto is, Google it. And that's her kids. Let's see. I think what I want to do, I want to get a kind of block out edges in here to extrude that piece in a bit. Like, let me try this. I don't need these, and I don't want them, so I'm going to delete them. Now I'm going to take this and extrude this in, like that. I don't need this face either. I don't think. No, I don't need that. Let's move this back, like that. So I'm just kind of blocking that out, just getting the basic shapes down. It looks to me like the whole thing is curved on top just a bit. I could maybe take this thing and move it up just a hair. And then I could maybe take these, move them down a bit. There we go. What else? What's that thing? Oh, I don't need that. That's too picky in there. All right, I think what I'm going to do is try that subdivision surface thing one more time here for this. I'm going to hit Shift H to isolate this, and then I'm going to go subdivision surface, and here we go. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know that I like this. I thought I'd try it. But maybe too much. Yeah, see, I don't think I like this. I mean, it's kind of cool. But let me try this. I'm going to hit scale that in. Yeah, that didn't really work. Okay. I don't like that. I'm going to take that off. And let's just see how it works without. Dissolve these edges. I'll keep those there. Let me smooth it. Yeah. Alright. Alt-H to bring everything back. I'm going to grab the windows. Hit H to hide them. Kind of begin to get a sense of how that looks. Okay. Generally speaking, okay. I'm gonna have to model the area that comes off of the hood and comes up and meets the window too. That's gonna need to happen, right? But generally speaking, we're getting there. What I'll be doing probably is using the solidify modifier for the doors. And then I'm also going to put a cube or something down here to give it a floor. So if we ever look into it, in fact, we're going to be looking down at it like this mainly with the trunk open, and there's going to be like guns and boxes of ammo in there because it's an arms deal in a back alley kind of thing. So we're going to need to make sure that all of this is filled in. So yeah, I think we're getting there. So I think we're going to call it a day here, but I hope you in the US, everyone goes out and votes, and it would be great. I wish someday we could have like 100% of people voting. I feel like we need to make Election Day a Friday, make it a holiday, so everybody can take the day off, go vote, and then party all weekend. That would be what I would do if I were president. Make Election Day a national holiday so that everybody can take the day off and party. There you go. That's my platform. All right. Well, I hope you have a good afternoon or evening, or depending on wherever you are. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.